What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to Trials Halftime. I first want to start off and say thank you. We got the channel to 600 subscribers. We're almost to 1,000. We're inching our way there, so I just have to say thank you so very much to everyone who has just encouraged me with all the nice things, the comments, and then obviously what has been going on in my life, the birth of my son. So I appreciate that just on a personal level, but just the excitement people have on this channel and the things that I'm talking about on this channel. People are happy about this sort of camaraderie that I'm kind of forming within this community where people want to help each other get to the lighthouse. We have a lot of things going on this week, a lot of special things. We have obviously the start of the new season. People were a little bit worried about what it was going to be like getting in there with the new light. I personally was definitely worried considering my personal reasons. And then the little bit of time I did get to play, I feel like the RNG was a little off. But we'll break it down. We did have a lot of excitement because we did get to see a new weapon right off the beginning into the intro of the new card. So without further ado, I know most people are always interested to see who comes on the show. And actually, I'm always excited because I get to highlight them. I get to broadcast. I get to showcase them for you guys. So without further ado, you guys recognize the guy at the bottom, Total Alpha. Got a new guy for you tonight, Visions. But first, let me introduce Total Alpha for you. You've seen him before on this show. Hopefully, you've seen him on his stream over on Twitch. He broadcasts for myself and for friends all the time, and we want to build up his channel just as much as well because this man is going off this week. I think he's sitting at like 5 flawlesses at over a 2.0, but let him tell you himself. You've seen him before. Take the floor, Jay.
Oh, I just want to say thanks for having me back on again. I'm always willing and always excited to talk about Trials, especially we got new gear, new loot, new armor to chase. So there's gonna be a lot of great stuff here. Kind of once we dig into the meats and potatoes of our topics today. Like I said, if you want to find me, you can find me wherever Wolverine's at. We're usually pretty linked up and squatted up together. But if we're not, you can always catch me on Twitch at Total Alpha TTV. More than happy to jump in. I'll run a couple cards with you, drop a follow, and let's run some cards. So thanks for having me again.
Dude, always a pleasure. You know how much fun we have. Even when we're butting heads, we're still cracking jokes at each other. We got a new person, and he's not really new to Jay and myself. We first found him late one night, really late. Actually, I personally found him. I was playing with another individual. I believe it was on a Javelin weekend, and I met up with Visions. Visions is another Guardian, just blows my mind where I can find the talent, and I'm not the best, nor am I the brightest bulb or the brightest sharpest tool in the box. I have found someone at the similar skill level who is just blows my mind with the amount of talent he has and thinking in play. He plays with a bunch of high-end streamers within the Xbox community over on Twitch as well. Visions, I usually give everyone a nice introduction to break down why they play the game, why they're playing PvP, and why they love Destiny, and where their history of Destiny goes into. So please take the floor, take whatever time you need to let my audience know, and our audience, please. Why you're part of this game, what makes you love Trials more specifically in Destiny, and where did this PvP interest come from?
All right, well, thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate that. I basically started Destiny when D1 came out, like the first week, and I played that like all the way up until Taken King came out. Then after that, it was like Rise of Iron, but I couldn't really play that since that was only for Xbox One. But I still kept playing D1. Then when I did get an Xbox One, at the time D2 was out, but I wasn't really into it because I saw how D2 was. Like special weapons we have now were like power weapons. Trials wasn't out, so I didn't really touch it. So up until I heard Trials was actually coming back to D2, and then that's when I kind of like came back because D1 was pretty much like my first game I ever played. So yeah, I came back to D2. Well, I came to D2 when our Trials was out, and I'm basically mainly a PvP focused kind of player. I do a bit of PvE, but that's for like a couple weapons, just to help me in PvP. And I don't know. I think the main reason I like Trials is just because like I like small like 3v3 game modes, and like there's the feeling of like clutching up like 1v3s
Yes.
like are so satisfying, and it's just like it's the competitive playlist.
100%.
So like I don't know, for me it's what makes like me look forward to playing this game is just Trials, and like this game is so much better when you play with friends. Nothing beats that feeling.
That more. I really cannot agree with that sentiment more. It's basically why I wanted to kickstart this show, because I've had so much fun with people just like yourself, and not just fun where you were cool people, you were easy to talk to and easy to play with, communicate with, well in the game, but we were successful. And when those stars align, man, this is the elements of not just Trials, but what makes Destiny fun to begin with.
Exactly.
So give me a little bit of PvP backstory. Was Destiny the only PvP outlet, or was there other games prior? Was it like a Call of Duty? What else? What else did you dabble in PvP or competitive wise that kind of scratched that itch before Trials came around?
So for FPS, like PvP focus I played a bit of COD, but not really. I want to say Rainbow Six Siege was a bit what I went into. I played that game hard, and I don't know, like it kind of almost can feel like Trials sometimes, the way like it's just like when you have to like clutch up around for the win, and I don't know, I really enjoy playing Rainbow Six, but like that's pretty much my only like PvP background is a bit of Rainbow Six, then some Destiny, a bit of COD, but that's about it.
Hey, and everyone comes from a different sect within the video game universe, whether they're coming from a sweaty PvP element to even a Minecraft element. There's all kinds of different corners where you meet people, and honestly, those are the best stories to tell, and those are the best attributes I'd like to highlight of my guests. So, and let me say this as well. If you're watching and you're interested in doing something like this, please reach out to me, because I want to highlight the community that we're in. A lot of it can be negative at times. Let's just call a spade at this point. Destiny community isn't that stellar, but I have always been an optimistic person. If you've known me from Lono's podcast, I tend to come half glass full, and I'm trying to highlight it right here with individuals I bring on this show, and things like plays of the week, just to give back a little bit and pay it forward to maybe the next person could just have a big startup because they just had that little spark of people being interested in them. So I can't thank you enough for both being here, and then obviously everyone for viewing either in the live audience right now or even after the fact, while this is just lingering all over the YouTube page. So let's begin. Let's just jump right in, fellas. We have had a crazy weekend, to say the least. We have been almost blessed and with the fortunate taking that there has been a bigger population so far in the half point of this weekend. We're sitting right now at close to 156,000 concurrent players, and that was more than some weekends entirely within the previous seasons that we have. So I think we're off to a good start. I think we'll just begin to say it. The Messenger, the new pulse rifle, being at 3 this weekend, big numbers to them for doing that, because I would have thought that the person or software, what have you, that was making this list of rewards these previous weeks were just not thinking, or just completely just not part of what these people that are diving into this playlist on a weekly basis, or even the people that are interested in the good guns. So again, the Messenger being at the 3 win was excellent for this weekend. It being the first weekend, I feel like it brought people up. Visions, I want to start with you. How are you feeling first about the Messenger being at 3, and if you got one, a good roll or a god roll yourself, how are you feeling about it? And I'll cut right into it. We already know that gun's in the top 3 right now in weapon kills, and that's unheard of for a weapon that just entered the pool on the very first day. So give me your thoughts about the 3-win aspect of it being the brand new weapon, and then the weapon in general. How are you feeling, Vision?
I'm totally fine with it being the 3rd win reward. It helps a lot of like the casual player base just like decide to hop in trials, because I mean trials is filled with a lot of like sweaty tryhards, so it can be kind of like deceiving when you see it being like the 7th weapon, 7th win reward. I mean, I think it being like the 3rd win really does help like people get in trials, and I'm all for it. And for like the perk pool, I feel it's really nice. Like it feels like Redrix, but like a bit even better. I didn't really get to play with it much, so I mean, I don't have much thoughts on it. But yeah, I like the weapon. I'm sure it's gonna be great.
I mean, I'm thoroughly
My number one gun used this week.
Yeah, it's crazy that people have been able to take it into their arsenal and basically rack up the kills in it. And I wanted to emphasize one of these points, probably later on. But when I think about the hand cannon getting at the 3-win reward, oh man, that weekend it's probably gonna flip the numbers right on its head, because if this weekend thus far is any indication, when the hand cannon gets up, and we're talking this hand cannon being as popular as Prophecy, as popular as Steady Hand, and even Bottom Dollar from Gambit is climbing up the ranks. And I think this is a good meta that we're in right now. Even though I'm not particularly using hand cannons all the time, especially in PvP, I'm liking the meta. I'm enjoying it. I think it's well balanced, and typically say when people have said that when Destiny is in the most balanced state, it's when the 120s or the hand cannons more specifically are the ones reigning supreme. Jay, let me ask you, how are you feeling about the Messenger 3 wins? Is it a great thing? Was it smart, big brain? And then what's your overall opinion on the Messenger? You just told me and our viewers that you've been ranking in the kills with it. What's your opinion about the gun, bud?
Yeah, I would say, great play on Bungie's part, because you get 2 cracks at it, on each character. You get it at that 3rd win, but also you get it from the weekly bounty, from the engram. So that's great. You always want to make sure that you're putting something fresh in the loot pool that week. But at the same time, Bungie, you don't want to play all your cards at once. So, you mentioned the one we hang from Trials. I would not want to see that week 2. Space that out a little bit. You already got the player the player pool up. I think if you kind of show all your cards at once, you're going to kind of see this progression, slowing down, just like how we've seen in previous seasons. Mm-hmm. But the Messenger, man, it's a phenomenal gun. It's changing up the meta, I guess you could say. I don't think we've ever seen a pulse rifle in the top 10 number weapons since the Messenger. I think it's been quite a. I don't think
I believe it's No Time to Explain. That's the only one in the beginning of the season. But yeah, you're basically right. There's been no other that has been this high. None.
Right. And I think just because the rolls you can get on this gun, it makes it very, very deadly. And when you have a pulse rifle that has hardly any range drop off that can compete with 120s, now you give those players an option. You can either run a 120 on certain maps, or you can bust out the Messenger and tear the map up with it. But I like the variety this week. You've seen a lot of different guns, which like you mentioned, when you have a diverse guns are being used in the community, I think that's when people have the most fun.
100%. I want to transition and because we got our first taste in the flawless chest. If you've gone flawless so far, it is the chest piece. Vision, we got a little taste of the armor with the TWAB, and then just prior to that with the Twitter little leak of what they were looking like. I was a little disappointed, I'll be honest, that the chest wasn't dropping consistently when you were going flawless more than once after you've done it on that one character. was a little bit disappointed about some of the roll problems still existing with armor pieces. We don't technically have Adept armor yet, but armor dropping at flawless chest, in my opinion, should always be 62 or higher. That's one less RNG battle you got to fight. You just went 7 matches in a row. At least give something 62 or higher, and then the RNG that you're fighting is just placement. First, Viz, what's your opinion on how the armor looks? Dude, overall, do you think this is a really good take on Bungie's part of injecting content into Trials? And do you feel that my take on the flawless chest, either not guaranteeing what it is that week on a single character, and the roll difference, them sometimes being sub 60?
I'm pretty glad that Bungie came out with new armor. It was about time because we were running with the D1 Trials armor. So, like, I'm happy that they got something new for us. But yeah, I'm pretty upset that like the chest armor that you get from like 7 wins rolls at like 59 sometimes, because you're doing like what is considered the hardest PvP like game mode, and once you do hit flawless and you get like hit with a 59 stat roll, it's really disappointing, and it doesn't feel like you did go flawless. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it.
Where
And also, it's crazy to think that with the prismatic recaster, you can choose your higher mobility or your higher, Pacific rolls with the prismatic recaster with the Unreal Engrams, but there's no system for Trials to make that gear that you get from the flawless chest higher in a particular category like mobility, recovery, intellect. That's one thing they could really improve on is make a system where you can kind of curate the rolls that you get from the flawless chest. Granted, you're at the highest tier of PvP content that we're going at, and with the Unreal Engram system with the prismatic recaster, I mean, there's you get that after completing battlegrounds and just public events.
I've always kind of been fully on the side of utilizing what we got with Deepstone Crypt in some way, shape, or form with the Trials chest. I think it's worth it. If you've had something before that was Adept or even an armor, you should be able to select that one to get that freedom. I know they're probably scared because of people that either do ghost lobbies or that cheat, and we could go down the list. Recoveries, carries, the whole shebang. I know they're cognizant of these things. They're clearly have no idea how to figure out how to handle all 4 factors of expedited loot to players that is coveted. So where I'm at with, first of all, my overall appearance of the armor, I can't wait. I'm always the most excited for the helmet. I feel like most people are the most excited when the helmet rolls around. I like what it looks like. The only thing I was kind of disappointed in, I run the emblem of Lost Light, so most of my armor will have the light of it being like a bright white. And I kind of didn't like how that mechanic was basically used the same way on this armor. I feel like that was your way to show different ways of utilizing, or even different emblems for that matter, to give off different radiant equipment on your pieces of armor. Or the shaders, of course, but different emblems, just like we have right now for going flawless, that turn it either red, white, or even not having one at all, being that yellowish tainted gold. So I obviously can still be critical when necessary. I'm still having a problem with the chest. We've gone over that. The rolls on armor being extremely low is, I always think to myself and how it must feel for an individual. They're probably so excited, think they're going to get the best roll in the world, and to get something that's like 58, I would really feel for a person. It should be higher, and I know they're worried about all the examples I just gave of people basically forcing their way to get that stuff at an expedited rate, but there's got to be some way to reward the flawless player, because there are players that don't get there all the time, and I think that's something they needed to work on. They figured it out for the raids, I think, with the Deep Stone Crypt chest. But what do you fellows think? I've always asked this, and I'll start with you, Viz. Is there a way that they can handle the flawless chest at the end in a different way than what it is right now?
Well, that's it. I was gonna say they should do something. Well, implement something like the Deep Stone Crypt last chest, where you can like kind of target what loot you want, and like for the like Alpha said about the prismatic recaster, where you can like focus your loot to be like recovery focused or like strength. Like there should, like for the armor, when that's like the flawless chest reward, you should be able to like decide if your like chest pieces focus on mobility and like recovery, or like a couple like stat focus, instead of like just being like a roll of the dice and like roll a 59 stat armor roll that's like evened out everywhere.
Jay, same question. Like, is there something that they can do, either minimal or similar to Deep Stone? I know we've talked about this before, but every week, and especially after this weekend, we saw something awesome, like the 3-win being the messenger, and then we got the chess piece, not even guaranteed if you're doing it on the same character again, and it could be subpar rolled with under 59, just as Viz said. What do you think?
I think, like with any loot chests, in the game, there, there's always a currency system. In the raid, there's spoils of conquest, or spoils of conquest. That you have to obtain by doing the activity, and we already have that with trials tokens. But most of the time, my trials tokens really don't go towards gear that I usually end up keeping, cashing on a same 14 with rank up packages. So if there was a system where we can use our existing trials tokens and be able to cash them in at the flawless chest, granted, like I don't care if it has to be 60 tokens or 80 tokens, because you're gonna get 20 from the flawless chest, to be able to get a specific gear or armor roll that you want to kind of curate for, or kind of eliminate maybe some different rolls out of a particular weapon, like we do with like the lore that we get with Ratborns. I would say take the existing trials currency and implement that into the trials flawless chest.
And I hope someone's listening, because I'm pretty sure people even that are watching can think of the either similar ideas using off things that we're saying, and even better ideas of what we're saying. And let me know in the chat right now or in the comments, is the flawless chess something that could be handled similar to Deep Stone Crypt, or in a completely new or different way that is much more rewarding to the player? Because like we've said, the players that don't go there habitually every weekend are I'll be honest, when it is an armor piece, and I understand if you don't have it, you're excited. That's the one excitement check mark. What happens if you had it before and you're going there for your second or your third time ever, and it's not that great of a roll? I don't think that's appreciative to the player's time. That's one thing we always talk about in Lono's podcast is being rewarding to people's time, being respectful to people's time. And that's one way, I think, and there's probably others, that Trials falls really, really short in terms of the reward process. Let's
like Saint's already at the lighthouse. Like, just make him a vendor that he can choose rewards from, like he is in the hangar. You already have him there at the lighthouse. Just let's go up and talk to him and be able to pick out some specific gear or weapons.
Agreed. Viz, what do you have anything you'd like to finish off before we break down the numbers of what's going on this weekend?
No, I mean, I'm just gonna say, like, I agree with the fact that, like, how he said there should be like a vendor at the lighthouse. Say, like, you see Saint 14 chilling there, like, you should be able to do something with him to like help you out, since you do like get flawless, and you should get a bit more rewarded than we actually are getting right now.
It definitely seems that way, and I'll stand shoulder to shoulder, die on whatever hill I need to when it comes to this playlist, because Well, I'll be honest, having such a big opinion about this playlist because of the amount of time that we spent. We spent together. We spend hours even into the wee hours of the morning. You know, sun's coming up after a full day, so it's like not being rewarded in that fashion. We play for different reasons. We play because it's fun for us and it's fun to continuously go. But I feel it should be more rewarding even for us, and it should definitely be more rewarding for the first time person or the person that goes once every other week or once when they finally find a good LFG team. That's the one of many flaws. I know we could break down a whole episode talking about cheating and DDoSing issues, but let's continue on with what's going on this week. We have Altar of Flame. It's actually fan favorite from most of people I've seen. People were excited that this map returned. Real quickly from each of you, do you guys like this map?
I love that map.
Jay?
Oh yeah, 100%. Honestly, I like it better than Burnout. I mean, I think the 3-lane system on this map is great, because on Burnout, you know, heavy where heavy spawns at, you know, it favors the inside spawn point. You know, if you don't have control of the inside, you're not getting heavy that round. You know, this map is very, very equal in terms of spawn points and direction.
You know, I don't want to digress too much, but you just reminded me when you said Burnout, because it was something I didn't have my episode last week, and I got to play a little bit, but it was such a weird episode for me. And before we get into the map statistics, I just want to ask you guys, and so our audience can get a little bit of idea of if they ever come across this problem. Most of y'all know me that I pretty much only run the Rat King in my kinetic, and I'll have a sniper. And Burnout was the one map thus far where I felt I'm being a detriment to my team, because I'm not capitalizing on kills with my weapons. I'm not getting the kills I need from a distance. Everyone was playing at the medium, the long range. It was ideal for the hand cannon, sniper, and or shotgun meta. It's that map. It completely got me to alter my play style, throw in a steady hand, and have a lot of fun with Cloud Strike. If you snipe, try out Cloud Strike. It is sticky. It is a lot of fun, and the collateral damage that you can get from the lightning strikes on the precision hits, man, you can make some clips with those kind of plays. So I had to adjust. I had to change. I had to break out of my comfort zone and use something I probably haven't used since Burnout was week 1, way back March of last year. Have there been times that you've had, I know we laugh about the one time we were playing with a teammate that just couldn't figure out what they wanted to use, whether it was successful or not. But when is there a time for you individually that you have to say, hey man, I'm not doing anything, I need to change my game up so I can better help my team?
It's really rare that I swap off the 120 shotgun loadout. Well, I mean, when I have to, I'd just probably switch to like a sniper and then a sidearm, or sometimes I even go as far as putting like Arbalist on with Drang. I try to refrain from that, but like that's like when like I really can't do anything with the 120 and shotgun loadout.
Jay, what about you? Like, you guys are definitely more diverse to your gunplay and things like that compared to me. But when have you guys been put in a situation where your comfort zone was kind of breached and you're like, I got to change something. I got to do something different?
Yeah, and the thing is, like, it takes a lot for me to break that. Like, even though how diverse I am, like, I like to stick with what I'm comfortable with. And I think that's going to be normal for everybody. But what really breaks me to end up going to like change a loadout is, you know, it's just like if I'm on, I'm on. You know, if a 120 fell winner, if I'm not hitting my headshots with the 120, you know, my TTK is not up to par. That's going to be able to finish Guardians and help my teammates out. So, you know, and it also depends on map for me. You know, Burnout was one of those occasions where, you know, I wasn't really hitting my headshots on that map for some reason. So, you know, sniper sidearm was my play. But you know, it definitely depends on map. It depends on how the weekend I'm having. So I think it's more maybe like a mental thing, if I'm in the right headspace, or if I'm hitting my shots or not.
Yeah, sometimes it's rough when we hit those walls, especially in the middle of a card or middle of a weekend, especially after spending Tuesday through Thursday anticipating what's going to be the map. And this is why we play this game. This is why we're as involved as we are. So I didn't want to backtrack, but like I said, you reminded me. You mentioned burnout, and it was something I wanted to talk about on halftime, because I had to break out of that bubble that is the Rat King, that I pretty much can main all the time. So that was definitely a culture change. So let's talk about these numbers, and because they've already progressed since we started. I told you guys before we went live, they were at 155,000 concurrent players. We're sitting at 164. So within that time, we've gone up close to 10,000 within just an hour. So I definitely think we're going to hit that 200,000 mark way before that Tuesday reset. Viz, are you put in a confident state by those numbers? How do those numbers make you feel?
No, they give me hope for this game, because the last few weeks of like last season were really like scary to see like how small the numbers were, and I was really scared for like the state of this game. Well, I mean, this weekend's kind of giving me hope for like the future. Oh yeah.
Agreed. Jay, same thing.
Man, I'm going to be opposite here. I would say do not get your hopes up, because this is looking very similar to last season, because last season we had Iron Banner with the very first full weekend to where it wasn't canceled. We had 233K, the most I've ever seen in a Trials weekend before. But I'd say it's too early to tell. And like I said, time will only tell how the weekends go. Weekend by weekend. Expect the numbers to go down. Depending on the loot. But watch the numbers come back up when the hand cannon is in rotation.
Yeah.
I would say do not keep your hopes up. Like, it's great now. Play it while you can. Definitely get your feet wet. Get in Crucible now while you can, while the player count is pretty active and high. Like I said, if Bungie does it right,
get in there while you can now. Just as Total Alpha just said, if you've never been flawless, if you've never been past any sort of milestone, it might be your weekend this weekend. I have full confidence in that statement, and it hasn't been that way in probably in close to a year since we had the initiation of Trials. So sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, you're fine. I mean, great call out though, that you mentioned. But I would say, time will tell. Like if Bungie does it right, the numbers will stay more active and higher than they were last season. With the armor, I think the new armor is going to help tremendously. Cosmetics in this game is what drives people to chase that loot. People wants to have the best looking Titan, Hunter, or Warlock. Everybody wants to chase that nostalgic gear, especially with something new as in Trials, that glow, while you're in the tower and you got people coming up to you, emoting, or, send you a message, be like, hey, help me in Trials. How'd you get that gear? And, that's just one of the things that make people kind of chase loot.
Yeah. And this, like I said, this weekend being as populated as it is, I haven't had as much fun in Trials this weekend than I've had in a while, and I was real nervous going in, considering my light level, and just
very nervous,
not being as versed in the game throughout the week, just because of what was going on in my personal life. I had no idea what to expect, and to see pretty much my entire friends list successful was awesome. It was awesome, and it was reassuring. I was obviously scared. Oh man, am I gonna be that one lame duck that doesn't do good? But it didn't.
Yeah, or that one guy that's constantly too low of a light.
I didn't want to be that guy.
I understand.
I was able to progress my light pretty much 10 total light while playing Trials this weekend, just from Pinnacles, Powerfuls, and then backfilling. So that's another reason to get in right now if you're just a PvE god. You've been crushing it all week with your bounties and your powerfuls and your pinnacles, hey, maybe go in right now. It's at a point, especially if you're on console. I will admit I haven't run a card yet on PC yet, just because of the time frame. I don't have as much as I wanted to, but I know cheating is still obviously a horrible issue. But if you have a console, or if you can get a good squad together on PC, man, it might be the good time to get your feet wet, just as we were alluding to. So let's talk about, before we talk about more in depth of the map, and we actually dive in, the three of us, let's talk about the numbers other than the population. Let's talk about the weapons and what's filling out the top 10. Phil Winter rounding out number 1, steady hand, really close, and even closer behind it, the Messenger, as we were saying it earlier in the episode, how shocked we were to see it that high. You know, I wouldn't have been surprised to see it in the top 10, 8, 9, 10, maybe a 6, but to see it at 3, I was really surprised, especially, and Total Alpha was really keen to point this out to me, that True Prophecy being back in the World Loot pool. We see that one rounding out just after Messenger at number 4. No surprise, number 5, Adored. Bottom dollar, the Gambit 120, which I'm extremely happy they put that in for our Gambit players. I know you guys are out there, and God bless you. God bless you, because we need more people like you to make the world go around and fill out other corners of the game. Right behind it is Arbalist, and I can't wait to make a short. Those small videos on YouTube when Arbalist gets fixed in a TWAB, I'll be ecstatic to talk about that. I don't mean to sound like a complete hater of it. Its aim assist is really high. It's a really good weapon. It's a really good weapon. I think it might need a little bit more fine tuning, and we'll see what they can do with it. Number 8, we got Sturm, 9 Crimson, and if I'm looking at this right, I'm looking at all. The Jotun at number 10, which is remarkable. I'm truly surprised about that. For it. Yeah, and clearly it is. Is there anything, Jay, that you see on that top 10 other than the Messenger that kind of stands out?
I mean, obviously the Jotun, bottom dollar. I'm glad that a gun that you get from I wouldn't say lesser played game mode, because we all know that Gambit's, it's active. And there's been some times where Gambit has been more active than Trials in some weeks. But it's good to see, I don't like a Gambit weapon has been featured in the top 10 weapons since the Spare Rations. Yep. And that, that was another 140 meta hand cannon at the time. But the only thing is about the bottom dollar is that, to get a really good PvP roll, you're gonna need that RNGesus on your side, because that gun can literally roll with every perk in this game.
Speaking of RNGesus, shout out to that guy over on Twitter, RNGesus. He's doing some good things for this community that we're a part of in the SNTR network. But it's just funny that you say that name.
Yeah, you're gonna need him to get a good weapon. So make sure you bring him into your Gambit games.
Viz, same deal. Is anything on that list really making your eyebrows pop other than the Messenger?
Jotun, honestly, I know it's used, but I didn't know it was gonna make top 10, to be honest.
Right there with you.
Well, I mean, the rest is pretty much what you see every week. So yeah, just the number 10 spot was surprising.
Mm-hmm. It very much is, and I've always been curious, and if you are watching and are curious as well on what the challenge is this week, you got to get kills with Skyburner's Oath. I've always enjoyed to see what they are. Maybe I get a Rat King day or what have you, but I don't think I'll ever get to have my moment in the sun. So if you are interested, that's what's going on with the challenge mode. But with rewards, we've been talking about it all episode. The Messenger at number 3. We got Tomorrow's Answer, the rocket launcher, which I'm really disappointed we didn't get an Adept version by the end of season, last season. We got the Summoner to finish off, and I'm happy we got the Summoner. Don't get me wrong, because it was probably, you could argue, the best Adept gun that we got last season. But I don't know, as an OCD type person and a collective type person, I was really disappointed to not get tomorrow's answer, Adept. So I'm sure we're due for it. Number 7 for 7 wins, Exile's Curse, the fusion rifle. Cool. Like I'm ready for that gun to be
New
sunset.
perks with that weapon.
Yeah, true. Way to be positive for me. I'm really happy someone stood in there.
Did you start?
I'm
Not a bad perk.
I'm not a big fusion rifle main. I'm a big proponent of where they fit into this game in some standpoints, but
You're anti-fusion rifle.
I don't want to say anti. I think I've used them when I needed to use them, but I think a lot of their purpose and what they do, it's debatable.
Anti-bastion.
Yeah. Well, I don't understand.
I'm surprised that map is or that gun is not on the top 10. I figure Bastion might make an appearance there.
I don't know. I feel like Stasis took care of Bastion way back when.
But fusion rifles did get a buff.
Glacial
this
Chasm.
season.
That's if you can get your hands
Yeah.
on that one. That one is able to map. So if you can get a good
I'm surprised we didn't see that in the top 10. Glacial Chasm,
Yeah.
since due to the
Well,
buff
the gun
they
was only
got.
around for 3 weeks in the dawning.
I don't think,
True.
unfortunately, I don't think many people have it. I think when the Dawning came out and how people felt about Destiny was probably one of the lowest. We're
Kind of a low point.
Yeah. I don't want to I don't want to go back and bake some cookies. So they were just flawless, like we've mentioned, is the chest, and like I said, they've been looking pretty. These armor pieces looking pretty. We'll be on the lookout for when the head piece is up there. I would not be surprised. I'm pretty sure all the armor pieces will be the flawless, and vice versa with the adept weapons for the next 5 weeks, and then the mod being random. Jay, you got 2 mods this weekend. I'm pretty sure I only got 1. I got the adept handling. I didn't have that one. So and
Adept Icarus.
yeah, I didn't get my adept Icarus yet, and I don't utilize it as much because like I said, my primary is exotic, but
Yeah.
I will throw it on my rocks. So what are you happy about the randomness of the mods?
Yeah. I mean, thing is, I've only gotten 1 mod this week, and once you get that mod, that's it.
Okay.
That's it for the weekend.
Okay,
So only you can get multiple mods in a weekend.
okay, all right.
But I was actually happy to really see Icarus Adept because with that 120 hand cannon from Trials, when that's the Adept weapon that week, I would definitely throw it on there.
Oh,
And
yeah.
One thing that I didn't know on the Icarus mod is that it actually gives a buff to range.
Yes.
So again, that airborne accuracy and range, kind of double dipping there. That's going to be really good.
Yeah, that will definitely make a lot of the sweaty people, a lot of the PC people that are utilizing Icarus on
Sweatier.
pretty much everything. They're going to be excited for that little
Shotguns,
buff to
too.
range. Yeah, because that buff to range is pretty much the coveted masterwork. So I'm overall reading the numbers, the statistics at the halftime. This is an exciting weekend. We haven't had a weekend like this in a minute. I know we've been starving. We've been in a desert, dying for water, and here we are. I'm just hoping that we weren't hit with a fire hydrant, and then that water's just going to start dying down week to week. Hopefully they can keep that excitement. Weeks like this where they're giving us weapons or giving us even armor pieces. I know we'll probably won't get one of the new armor pieces at 3, but maybe since we've had the chest at flawless, work that armor piece into 5, at maybe even 3, but that's something that we have yet to see. So we are going to transition now. We're going to go right into gameplay. We're not going to be jumping into it. That's something I'm looking forward to in the future when we have repeat maps that we've already discussed with other team members, where we'll still talk about the map, what's going on, and then run a card for you guys. Just see if we can pick and dissect different parts of our own gameplay and maybe even get lucky on stream and go flawless. So we're gonna jump right into Altar. How are you guys feeling this time on Altar compared to the previous times? And I'll start off. I'm probably performing at the best I've ever performed, and that's not an exaggeration. My KD is high right now, and I've played good teams, and and I'm really loving the game. I'm really loving my feel of the game. I'm really loving the people I'm playing with as well. That's a big part of success, teamwork.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would hope they keep this momentum going. Like I said, don't show your cards all in a month span. You finally got the numbers that you wanted back in this game mode. Spread it out. To keep those numbers high and steady would be my suggestion to the people on the back end of things.
I'm over at the left side spawn, fellas. I'm gonna go ahead and just run through everybody what I do personally. There's a few different routes I go to, depending on what kind of resistance I'm getting. Just kind of determines exactly where I go. But I'll go ahead and hug my man right here, and I'll just break it down. I'll go in right here. There's a nice little perch. It's usually not my first go, but I'll let you guys know, because sometimes people are surprised about it. If you're ever spawning on that opposite end, you're coming in right here and you're like, where did I get sniped from? And then there's a little perch that people could just hang right off the edge right here. It's kind of common knowledge, but if you didn't know, now you know.
Yeah, that's why I avoid running through there when I spawn on the other side. Like, just there's a couple sniping lanes that can pick you off quite easily.
Exactly. And real fast, I'm going to give you guys the floor. I just wanted to show my opening, and then I'm going to give you guys your take on how you open from the same end. Nice little head glitch where you only see the top of your head. The only thing I can caution you about the two areas that I'm pointing out, because they are cross sniping, and I'll show you the other ends and what they look like. You got to get there fast. Just a millisecond off the other player getting to that counter snipe, you just gave them that much of a second to zone in and line you up shoulders. So
yeah, when you get a chance, we'll turn around and look at the glitch spot that I am, just to kind of show everybody and kind of be aware of the spot that people can hide in.
Yeah. Good eyes.
That can be a tricky point if you're kind of looking for a snipe and you're thinking that they're on the stairs and actually above you up here. So.
Yeah, I think I saw that in game 7, I think, but we had hard pressed the team so much that the individual that was up there couldn't really take advantage of it in the way that we wanted to. He had missed the first shot just because we got a hit on a teammate. But yeah, that's nasty right there. I'll admit that's insane. So big shout out to Alpha for finding that and showing, broadcasting that to you guys, because that's a nasty one. Viz, when you're over on this side, what are you doing? Whether you're sniping or you got your shotgun out, what's your plan from this side?
I often just tag along with, usually it's you. Just team whatever person we can find, or Alpha. When we spawn here, I'll just go outside of B and try and get like a team shots with them using a 120 over by this side.
Mm-hmm.
But it's either or. Just follow one or the other.
Yeah, a lot of your engagements will be centered around here. We got your point right here. If most of y'all weren't aware of. Heavy is technically in the same area, but it'll spawn right on this block. But most of your engagements, personally, from what I have seen and I have dealt with, have been for fighting over the middle, fighting over the outside, or one team outside, one team middle, and working on those picks. Team shooting,
exactly.
Yeah, team shooting is going to be huge, just as Viz just said. If it's something that you're about, man, you can collapse on a team extremely fast. Before I break down the other side, do you guys have any other quick points or quick add-ons just off the top of your head?
No.
No. I mean, you nailed it. Team shotting, 120, messenger. I think the reason why messenger plays such a good role in this map is because you can 2-tap. At the same range that a 120 can 3-tap you.
Yeah.
So, on this outside area here, if they're on that pillar there, that's a good kill zone there on top of the pillar. If they jump up there, that's a no zone, I guess you could say. But also, outside here, this is a really great position to either flank around a sniper that's ADS too long, to get a very crucial first pick. But also, you're right where cap point is. So if you got control of outside, you also got control of cap, because making your way around to outside, with the stair here and then also the other stair, you're kind of funneling yourself into some lanes that can be easily team shot at and avoided.
Yeah, and one thing I've always wanted to emphasize, if you're used to something, and it kind of goes without saying, but if you're used to a strat and it's had success for you, and you play a team and it's kind of throwing you off, don't be afraid to stick with your team, figure out a different role that you can help to just not die in situations, and just be that extra gun and that extra set of eyes to help your team out, because I'm telling you, a lot of battles are won just based on the numbers game, just based on numbers, confidence levels within other Guardians' heads, where they know that going against 2 compared to going against 3 would change their aggressive output in the same fashion as a 1-on-3 would. Some people just know how to flip the script and turn on a switch and go off, whether it's 1-on-3, 1-on-6, it doesn't matter. Obviously, those are very few and far between. I'll break down a little bit from this spawn, personally, just something that I do that and is successful for me. I'm running over here on this side, watching for this low snipe, and I'm going right here. I'm hugging this wall, and why I'm hugging this wall, if I'm right here and I'm peeking out to one of the other enemies that are counter sniping or running by, if someone is down that tunnel just as Viz is, I'm standing there, I'm popped. Easy pick. There are 2 other areas to look at. The one I was mentioning earlier while I was showing you that little perch, this is what it eyes up what it looks like. Here's a big reason why I don't like going here, not just the perch. The perch is part of it, but it's 50% of it. Not only is the perch something that I'm concerned about because it's so off frame and it's not at my center point of view right when I pull down the scope, because this is the head glitch I'm referring to right where alpha is, and then you got this. So you're worried about multiple different areas, but sometimes you got to change things up and catch people off guard. So that's one view of it. Another one I'll try to use this block right here in front of me, try to get eyes right here, and try to see if I can get another pick on. Sometimes people will be popping up, bunny hopping over the wall to see if they can get eyes on somebody. This spot, it's an option, but just it has the same problem as this spot, where you're concerned about different avenues of being shot at. Whereas the first spot I had showed you guys, where I'm comfortable going and where I have seen much success, where I'm hugging this wall and I'm only worried about what's in front of me. I am only worried about what's in front of me. If people charge me, radar, I see it. I can typically hear if somebody's running through this tunnel. I'm ready to back off. So that's a little success from myself from these areas. Viz, from this area and this spawn point, are you doing anything different? Are you changing things up? If you're down, if you're up, how are you playing it?
Yeah. When I spawn here, I usually just like to avoid those sniper lanes because I don't snipe. So we just come out here. If anything, if I challenge inside, I'll go like towards these stairs where I can see like one lane, so I don't get like I don't have to like focus 2 snipers. But if not, I'll just try and hop on B or like outside where there's power ammo and control, which is this area right here. And I often try and like team with the alpha when we're together here, since we do both run 120s, or with you, like if you have your sniper out and I can just like put one shot with the 120 on them, then you can like maybe like body shot them or get that headshot. But yeah, it's either both options.
Definitely the emphasis on teams. I want to help the shotgunners real quick while we're out here. Is there, if you have a specific rush route, where have you seen success if you had to just go balls to the wall, shotgun out, I need to get a kill? Is there a route that you feel comfortable with if you just are rushing at them head on, no hand cannon out?
Yeah, for me, I'd probably just run through B right here and try and get to their other stairs, catch them off guard through mid, and then
usually a lot of teams like to hang out in this area here.
Yeah.
That's where I usually throw like a dust field. because this area is where they're getting pinched from your sniper lane, Wolf, and they kind of move over here to get cover. So if they're in that position, then I'm definitely coming over this cube and kind of pushing into the tunnel if that's where they're going to funnel in at.
Yeah. Why don't you show me the other side for you, Jay? What are you doing differently on the other spawn? Where's your success? No, not this one. The other side. Where's your success been at from the other side coming round around?
I'm definitely outside player here, especially with the messenger. With this long range, I test this spot here since a lot of snipers like to hang out in this area.
Yeah, they like
it's
the
an
limbo,
easy 2-tap.
For the viewers, what he's referring to, the limbo left and right to both of those sides of the wall. Just try to catch people off guard.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's where if I get one down here, that's when their teammates, the other two teammates, are probably going to be pushing on that part there. That's where the rushing attempt with the dust field and sure can happen. So I'll get one sniper down here and then immediately move on that orb because I'm expecting two other teammates to be there following up.
Couldn't have said it better. Just same things that we have said in previous episodes in terms of success. Knowing when are good times to engage, communicating that engagement. Sometimes it's completely understandable that you had a pop or super without telling your teammates because people were on you or you panicked, what have you. Minimizing mistakes. You're gonna make them. That's evident for everyone. Nobody is perfect, but minimizing them, communicating your problems intelligently, of course, not yelling at your teammates, but communicating your problems either personally or what you think could work better. It's all keys to success. And like I've said, and we've all been saying, this weekend it's promising, to say the least. So getting your toes wet if you're nervous, and I've always tried to instill confidence on the show. That's the main premise, to instill confidence, to get you to either jump in with friends or jump in to look for an LFG, to get in there and do something that you haven't done. Get to 3 wins, get to 5, or even go all the way and get to flawless. So I feel this map, like many others that we'll get this season, are fan favorites, of course, and I love reviewing them. Personally, I can't wait to review Jav, but a lot of miss opportunities can prevent teams from winning a lot of rounds when you know that you got to pick. One thing that I have done that has found success is just collapsing right on that pick. Not running, straight beelining it so you're easily picked, being unpredictable with your movements, but as fast as you can get cover on that down guardian, because that will change up the entire play style and put the other team in an uncomfortable situation. A lot of these things, they obviously go without saying, but you can lose sight a lot of the time, especially in the heat of the moment. There's been times, and I've had buddies of mine on my friends list, or I'm like shouting at the top of my lungs not to go into a room, because it's just, what they're gonna do, and just having that patience and being patient. And this is a very patient map. You can play strong, but it's right when you get that pick, that's when you gotta be able to be able to gun it, communicate where you're going, where that pick is, to coordinate with your entire team. Do you gentlemen have anything else you want to add before we get on to the final segment?
No, I agree.
Well,
just
yeah,
playing patience.
Not all at the same time. Mm-hmm. No, Viz, go ahead, buddy.
I was just gonna say, I agree with the thing you said about playing patience, and then once you get that pick, then that's when you can start being a bit aggressive, or like just gunning it and trying, like, getting those last 2 orbs down.
Yeah, I think to piggyback off you, Wolverine, the calling out where the res is, with this being such a big and open map, calling out where that res is, extremely important. Hey, I got someone down in tunnel, or hey, I got someone down light spawn stairs. That way we can collapse on that.
It's not to be cliche, teamwork makes the dream work, and there have been times prior to this season where I was emphasizing that regardless of a team's KD. And Jay, we've been in games together where we obviously felt that we probably should have beat some teams just based on stats alone, but because of their teamwork and their abilities to capitalize on our mistakes, they were successful. They were the ones that won the day. So it's not impossible. It's just being smart, patient, and if you get to that game 7, really, take your time per round. Really think about your actions. And I know it's the heat of the moment, and I'm preaching to the choir, but it's definitely something to keep in the back of your mind. So let's group up right here for one of these. Nice way to send that off. All right. Last segment, you guys will see this just a second later than myself, just because of the time on YouTube. But I want you guys to take your look at this submitted play of the week clip. He doctored it for a little bit for me. It was a little brutal at first. I don't know why his recording is just a little off, but as best you can with your qualities on your submissions. He's submitted a lot. He's in chat right now. Happy Gengar in chat. He typically is mostly always going off in pretty much all the clips that he sends me, and I'm always messaging him throughout the Trials week and asking him how his cards are going. So big shout out to him on Xbox. Salty. That's 4 M's actually. Salty. So and Happy Gengar in YouTube, a big part of the SNTR community here. So a big shout out to him. A lot of that play style, fellas. He's got a 120. He's got the Fellwinters out. He's sliding with the Titan. We've seen this kind of play before. He's executing it really well too.
Yeah, and also, this clip is also very similar to the clip that Salty gave us for what was it, Dead Clips. We mentioned how to utilize your abilities and how to bounce in and out of gunfire. You see he kind of pops into the cave, puts up a wall just to regain some of that health, and then pops back into the gunfight to take 2 more players out. I think with any situation where you're outnumbered, hopping in and out of cover to regain a little bit of health could literally keep you in the fight. Super crucial. Also a great plays all around.
Yeah, the ability to utilize his surroundings as well. Just that last move at the end, that last slide he did to get a little bit of cover, just to get that last second to either catch his momentum and to slide back in to finish off the last hunter who was trying to get the revive. I've seen you make plays like this all the time, Viz. I'm always telling we always like to say you're better. It's just one thing that people like to say in the community amongst themselves when they win ones or stuff like that. But I love exciting plays like this. Like I said, I've seen you do it, Viz. What gets you excited in some certain scenarios similar to what we're watching, and just get your adrenaline?
Oh yeah, dude, when you're in those situations, it's just the adrenaline's kicking in, and you're just everything's happening by itself. I'm not even thinking. I'm just letting it go, and when it's over, and it's just so relieving.
Yeah, 100%, and especially when you were able to make it out on top, record the clip, you're like, man, I can't wait to watch that and go to bed later. It's just that extra self pat on the back that you get to give yourself when you're done. Because hey, man, who doesn't like making cool plays? And that's something I wanted to emulate with this show and add a play of the week segment. And it never. I want my audience to know where you could submit. It's halftime, POTW at sntrnetwork.com. And it doesn't have to be of what's going on this weekend. It could be going on during the week. It could be what's going on the previous weekend in Trials. Just has to be 30 seconds, as best quality as you can, but I want to highlight players' skill, individual plays that they just want to showcase. So please, you got any clips? You're in this viewership week in, week out, or if you're watching it after the live segments and you'd like to see a play, like I said, halftime, POTW at sntrnetwork.com. Send me your 30-second clip, and so I can showcase it right here for you guys. Let's finish off. We have optimism. I know Jay brought us with a little bit of a reality that we shouldn't get our hopes up too early. It's optimistic to see the numbers that we are and to see them go up almost 10,000, and basically since we started the show almost an hour and 15 minutes ago. Jay, what are your hopes going forward, and what is the best way possible do you think that the people at Bungie can maintain these numbers that we're seeing right now consistently and even blow off?
Yeah. The ball is in Bungie's court now. I think the community has shown that we can actively play in this playlist for long periods of time with steady numbers. In the past it's always been really low, or we gave feedback about the loot or reward system, and with new armors, new weapons, new rolls on weapons, I think Bungie is delivering on that feedback, which is great, because a lot of people say Bungie doesn't listen. Well, here, season 13 they delivered. We can't complain about that, and so far so good. I think the numbers don't lie, and with how active everybody is in this game mode, we're only 2 days in. This is the most players that we've seen in a long time, and at the same time, this is probably the most exciting, the most fun we've had in a weekend in a long time. I think everybody can agree on that.
100%.
But to keep, yeah,
Go ahead.
to keep the momentum going on this is, keep things fresh. Keep the loot rolling. That's why we're gonna be in this playlist every weekend. It's for the loot. We don't play just to sweat 10 years off our life to go flawless.
No.
We play for the rewards, and we want to be rewarded. So kudos to Bungie for giving us those rewards, and like I said, show all your parts, keep things a little bit of a mystery, and let's space out this loot throughout each weekend.
If you're just joining us, or if you've been here, and if you are fresh and new, this is something that we do every Saturday at the halfway point of the Trials weekend, and we break it down. Myself, Wolverine, I host. I try to bring in 2 new fire team members every week to give you their insight, their perspective on how they're being successful, so they can relay information. I think becoming flawless in this game, it shouldn't have this stigma that is impossible for some people. No. Good coordinated teamwork. It should be difficult, but good coordinated teamwork should be on your side, and you should be as successful as possible with those key elements. I want to ask you the same question. This momentum that we have going this weekend, it's very promising. Again, to temper those expectations, it's something that we haven't had in a while, so we're bright-eyed at the fact of the success. What is your opinion on how this success can be maintained in the future?
That was you, all you.
I mean, like you said earlier, like when you said teamwork makes the dream work. I mean, that's like honestly like the key to being successful in this game mode. And like we've beaten teams that were like 2.0 plus players, really stacked, like top 500, and like we're like stats wise we're lower than them, but like because like we work like so well as a team, like we can take down higher level, like higher skilled players stat wise. And to me that's just like sort of like the secret to Trials, is just really like the best teamwork kind of like always comes out on top.
For sure. Is there something that Bungie can continuously do week in and week out to see the same numbers that we've had this weekend? What do you think they can do?
I mean, like Alpha said, like we're in here for the loot, or like most people are in here for the loot, and like if it's like dry loot, like dry content, like no one's like not every player's gonna want to play it, and we're gonna see numbers like we saw like last weekend. So like, I mean, for me it's just really like depending on how the loot is and like what people want to chase out there.
For sure, and the conversation that we had about the flawless chest and
exactly.
rewarding for people's time, I think we're getting close to that with their push to make the messenger 3 wins. Obviously, with the bounty last season, I still think there might need to be a little bit more that they're giving to the people on the low end to make it that much more satisfying week in and week out. I'm hoping that they find that groove to satisfy the lower end people a lot sooner. Again, this is sorry, what were you gonna say? Go ahead, Biz.
Oh, I just said yep. Like I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, this portion of the show, this is the play of the week portion. If you're just joining us, and this is the portion that I will showcase and highlight people's best plays that they've done throughout the week. This week going on currently of the show, or the previous. If you do anything and you want to send something, I would love to highlight it, and we'd love to talk about it, love to break it down, and we'd love to further think about how we like big play portions of this game and how they excite us, how to get our adrenalines going. So we're gonna close out. I want to give both of these guys a nice send off. Give them a second to basically tell us what is a good way that Bungie can keep going with the success to keep themselves interested in the game, and maybe things they're looking forward to in the future. Jake, why don't you start it off? How are things that Bungie can do for the future to keep you continuously playing the way that you are?
Yeah, I would say, based off this season and how well this season goes, keep that momentum going into, season 14 and 15. Sunsetting isn't going to be bad once we have enough weapons and iconic guns like the Messenger just to play around for a year with. I think with Trials in specific, we've talked about, the flawless chests, to be able to kind of pick or curate the rewards that you want. If that's, something that's going to be spotlighted or, a new update in the future, I think that's going to bring more and more people back to the game mode. But to keep me successful and, keep me interested in the game mode is just keep doing what they're doing now. Put some new armor or some new glows or some emblems like we talked about to kind of set yourself aside from everybody else. Everybody wants to have their own iconic customization look that really stands out. So keep the guns. Yeah.
No, good. Finish, please.
Keep the guns fresh. Don't stop with the Messenger and the sword and the hand cannon. Let's add a Trials sidearm into the mix, or a Trials bow. Who knows that a really good bow with some really great new perks might be really good in PvE. Or something like a Monarch 2.0 but legendary. That can really shake the crucible up a little bit.
Agreed.
But don't stop with the weapons now. Keep refreshing the weapons.
I think the bow would have probably done a better job than the sword. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell everyone to close out for yourself, Jay? Where can people find you? How can people connect with you? Where are you at?
Yeah, I'm on Xbox, Total Alpha, which is exactly how it's spelled with the space there. But also I casually stream on Twitch. It's going to be Twitch, twitch.tv/Total Alpha TTV. More than happy to drop a follow, come and chat. We can talk about Trials, and also run a couple cards together with me and Wolverine, because that is my right hand man.
Big shout out there. Big shout out. Viz, same question as Alpha. What is something that Bungie can continuously do for a person in your standpoint to keep you engaged?
Honestly, for me, it's just give me something to chase. Whether it's like a new armor piece, new weapon, like Alpha said, like new glow for your armor. Like even in D1 where there's those emblems people would chase after getting flawless, like the Scarab emblem. Like bring something like that in the game, and I'll sit in Trials and I'll play like all day, every day. I just need something to chase for. That's pretty much it.
I think I'm in the same boat with you. I need something to do. I need something just beyond.
You gotta triumph though.
Yeah, I need new gear. I need better weapons. I need, you know, to choose my adept possibly at the flawless chess. Everything that we talked about today are great ideas. Viz, let everyone know where they can find you. Where can people connect with you?
I don't really stream, but I mean, if you want to play with me on Xbox, just hit me up. My gamer tag's Divisions, just like on the bottom of the screen where you can see me on the stream, and I'll gladly play with anyone.
For sure. Yeah, he's on Xbox. Great dude. A dude I met in LFG. He's got a few good people in the community that he plays with as well. So please give both these guys some love, whether it's on Xbox, Jay on Twitch. You know, give them a little love as well, because these are people I want to continuously have to come back, bring them back on, because I play with them often. And as well as something I reiterated in the beginning of the episode, if you're interested in doing this, please, I welcome you guys to shoot me an email at trialshalftime@sntrnetwork.com. Shoot me an email right there. Let's talk, or even shoot me a message on Xbox, Discord. Most of y'all can find me if you're interested in coming on, no matter what your status is within any other channel. Please, let's have a conversation. Let's play a little bit, and let's introduce you to the community and how you play Trials each and every weekend. I can't thank you guys enough for coming on, both Viz, Jay, week in and week out. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it, because you guys are helping the success of this going, and something I'm not going to forget, and especially if we start succeeding very well on this channel, which I'm definitely striving for. So thank you guys very much for.
Appreciate it, man. Always a pleasure to you know, take what we talk about and, you know, in our trials matches, and just, you know, kind of share, you know, our knowledge and insight to, you know, rest of the, you know, of a group community we have here, you know, on this channel.
100%. Viz, thank you again. We were going back and forth. Got a buddy next week. He said he's going to be good to go, and so thank you so much for stepping in. I really appreciate it. Thanks for clicking and accepting the LFG the one time, because we've been very successful as a fire team together within Trials.
Oh yeah, we have.
Yeah, and yeah, man, thank you.
Oh, thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, and I want to say thank you to everyone in the audience tonight, or people watching after the live stream. You guys are really making this possible, because this is all about being positive within the community. There's not a lot of positivity overall in Destiny, I feel like, and I think that should change. We're playing a video game at the end of the day. Why aren't we helping each other? So I feel coming together in this element, man, it's just like a football team or any other sports team, finding those other players that are like-minded like yourself and succeeding with them is really something I've wanted to hit home for a very long time. So again, thank you all for making this possible. Thank you all for giving me a lot of love on the new little light in my life. I really appreciate that. For all the people who have subscribed recently, thank you again. We like I said at the beginning of the episode, we hit 600. We're close to the 1,000 goal to begin our road to monetization, and I would really think that we'd be able to do a lot of great things as we can expand. We got a big network that we're part of in the SNTR network, so I really hope you guys go check out that website, sntrnetwork.com. It's got all kinds of Destiny related content. Lono, who's the host of that network and the show SNTR Presents Monday through Friday, goes over every topic in relation to what's going on in Destiny. So if you just love Destiny, please go check him out Monday through Friday. He's a big part of this. He is the one holding the umbrella of this giant network. And he is the one who brought me on, so I always got to thank him whenever the best way I can. So, gentlemen, thank you again for being here. We're probably going to play a little bit after this. Maybe Jay will stream for a little bit. I don't typically stream. I'm probably going to change that as time gets on, as I get comfortable. I like to talk. I like to showcase other people and talk to other people. So again, thank you guys for being here. Thank you all for watching. And as always, stay safe.